It's got to stop. It's just got to, that's an American giving you detailed atrocities and the collusion of the Nigerian government, the atrocities of these terrorists, as well as the collusion of the government, who continue to give excuses after excuses. Nigerians are being chased away from their homes by these armed jihadists. They are being chased away from their homes. Those who couldn't were killed. And these lands have been taken over. The government of Nigeria is aware. Nigerian government is aware that millions of Nigerians are living in refugee camps. Millions, for a country that is not fighting war. Don't cause war in Nigeria. Oh, you these people, you want to cause war in Nigeria. You want to cause religious war in Nigeria. Man, do you think those Nigerians children, including children, who are living horribly in different makeshift IDP camps, refugee camps in their own country, do you really think they don't know that Nigeria is at war? Because you still have to go to your own club. Yeah, you still club at, every weekend. You still do your own wambe every weekend. Some of you are pretty much far away from reality because that's exactly where they want you to be. But there is a reason why Arewa is very much kind of like enraged right now and scared, including Tinubu. People have been saying Nigeria will break up, Nigeria will break up. America predicted that Nigeria will break up in 2015. So it didn't happen. So Nigeria held on up to 2025. Now, Nigeria is at the verge, at the cliff of breaking up. I mean, it is never much pronounced than now. You know what I mean? Is America going to help facilitate that? I don't know. But if this gets so escalated as it is being planned, the plot is to remove the idea or the ideology of this extremism completely from root, not just killing the terrorists. No. In fact, it could also lead to Tinubu not even completing his own term as your president. There's a lot that can happen. There's a lot that can go wrong. So the Arewa are very much oblivious of that. And as we speak, if you know America very well and their geopolitics, if that is their end goal, una better start getting ready for the spillover. So yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and even yesterday, and possibly today as well, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi has been all over the place, threatening everyone. First, he's telling us that America, what is their business? Like, you know what I mean? That they are already talking to the boys. They are already talking to the boys. And the boys are already trying to come out to negotiate. They are ready to negotiate with us. So there's no point in attacking them. Yeah, he's been talking. And among the people that are going to be under the blacklist of this, their CPC, Gumi is one of them. And guess what? This is why.
We don't want to push them into that terror beyond what they are doing now, because yes, it can get worse. They have shown us their willingness to negotiate. So people that are ready to negotiate, why are you rushing to just declare them bandits so that you can use whatever weapons you bought? Before, they used to catch Boko Haram and present them to the authorities in Zamfara. But now, if they're all terrorists, secondly, the only door that remains, that is we clergy, to go in and negotiate with them, is closed down permanently.
The best thing now is for Nigeria to warn the president of America and tell him to retract his threat, because it's a direct threat, even ordering the Pentagon to be ready to attack Nigeria for what? Nigeria should, the president should retract such threat, or else we sever our relationship with America. There are a lot of Christians who have known that the narrative is wrong. It's a representation of reality on ground. Many Christians know that. So Nigeria should reciprocate whatever the tune of Trump's allegations are, because he did it not in a diplomatic.
We don't want to push them.
Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running?
Sheikh Osama bin Gumi is asking Tinubu to sever relationship with America, because these boys are already negotiating. These boys are like, why do you want to go after them? Why do you want to come and attack? America is not attacking Nigeria. It's not invading Nigeria. But there is a chance that America would invade the Sharia North, because their intention is not just to take out the terrorists killing people. Their intention is to destroy the base, and in itself, which will then trigger the caliphate, Sokoto Caliphate, and their emirate to call for their own proper jihad this time. And that could be anything. And it's a cause for worry. No, I mean, that's a good cause for worry. It can be like, I mean, I'm concerned, because everybody believes that America is coming to come and deal with the terrorists. Precision, they are not, I mean, I believe that America is coming to deal with the terrorists. Because you see, this terrorists, the word terrorists, right, is actually very much like a wild, like, you know, it's not just those ones carrying guns. They are financiers, state governors. Here you get senators, House of Rep members, political appointees who are ministers. They will become targets. And their reactions will determine if they will be physically kind of like, you know, targeted as well. And northern Nigeria and the rest of Nigeria may not remain the same again. I am not trying to kind of like take your mind. I'm, you know, the way my own minds work based on the available information, right? Sometimes you can easily project things, because things can escalate and get out of hand just like that. And we are talking about Donald Trump. Americans, or the government of America, right, especially the Democrats, they have spewed different narratives, lies, to cover up the advancement of these terrorists in Nigeria. And by removing Nigeria from that CPC list, they also set Nigeria back for another 10 years of program. Because what the intention of the CPC was to mount pressure on Buhari's government to use the equipment America gave them on the terrorists killing Nigerians. But they are not. Rather, the weapons ended up in the hands of the terrorists, and America did nothing. Now you have Donald Trump, who is always like the opposite of the Democrat in this sense. I mean, come on. Was it not just a while back, 2 years ago, that Tinubu wanted to invade Niger Republic on behalf of France and this same America? 2 years ago, Tinubu was in the good book of the Joe Biden's government, enough that he could go into an arrangement with them to invade Niger Republic and remove the military junta there and restore the removed president. Remember? Now, the same America, okay, a different America, but the same America is now asking Tinubu the same thing they asked Buhari to do. Would you please deal with this terrorist? Oh, you want the Tucano jets? Yeah, we'll give you Tucano jets. You want these weapons? You want that weapons? Yeah, we'll give them. You want these particular trainings and all that? Yeah, we'll give you the trainings. America has always been there. They've always been. But the thing is that you have a compromised, you know, government structure. You have a compromised military. And them being compromised has actually cost lives and still pretty much costing lives as we speak. But Tinubu, who is actually meant to address the country and tell them state of things himself, is hiding inside the rock. And today they posted a video of him and they said that was him replying Trump. I know that wasn't like sensible, but yeah, that's the best they've got. Oh, this is the best they've got.
The most important thing is the fact that despite the political headwind and the fear of our people, we continue to engage with our partners. The success of the 2.3 billion bond, subscription, oversubscribed, is the most at this stage. So the task ahead is immense. We are engaging the world diplomatically, and we assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country. The task ahead is immense, but it's our resolve to move forward with unity and purpose, guided by renewed hope agenda to build a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Nuisance leleyi. Nuisance leleyi.
So to Tinubu, no matter what Trump is saying he wants to do, they are dealing with the world diplomatically. I mean, take for example, they wanted to raise $2.1 billion from the bond, Nigerian bond. They want to raise that from the stock market. And it got oversubscribed. Guess how much people subscribed or oversubscribed? Almost $12.5 billion. So to Tinubu, it was like, you see, the rest of the world still believe in my policy, in my in my reform. Alaye, do you not even understand? Like, it is the cheapest way to make money from you. You are raising free cash in that sense, right? The money you are going to use a crude oil to pay for in a year or two time, right? Or sorry, in 10 years. That's what they are raising. They're raising a bond for 10 years. So if you buy it, it will take 10 years before it matured, right? That's what they are doing. So you go oversubscribed at a 9% interest. So those who get money don't put money. But to Tinubu, that's to tell you that Nigeria is working fine, and the rest of the world believed in this reform. Forget about Trump. Nothing concrete, but the mess ahead. There is a mess ahead. There is also a possibility of a regime change in Nigeria in the coming weeks and months. I'll tell you what is projected. America, or Trump and his team, believes that if Tinubu's government, like Buhari's government, if Tinubu's government failed to act and deal with these terrorists, then it will rest upon America to facilitate a regime change in Nigeria and bring in a real government that can deal with the terrorists from its root, the sponsor, the finance, and the rest of that. Now, that is also something that now these two scenarios, going after the caliphate that are promoting the Sharia law, blaspheming law, spreading this extremism over Nigeria, watching this genocide go on, while they also claim that the Muslims are being killed, yet they've done nothing. Because, well, the Muslims killed in the course of their jihad, their collateral damage to this Uthman Danfodio descendant in Nigeria. So going after them will trigger their base to say they want to share you get. But eventually, right, it will balkanize Nigeria, but we'll get to that. Or get rid of this Mumu ticket, Muslim government in Nigeria, who are very much biased enough to deny the existing genocide against the Christians in Nigeria. See the two options. These two options, from what I have heard, they are open. They remain open. So Tinubu's government or Tinubu's regime are stylishly molding the minds of their base and other Nigerians who don't even like them, right? That, listen, this is this is like a huge disgrace for Trump to call Nigeria a now disgraced country. It is your country. You may not like me. You may not like APC, but this is wrong. Nobody should treat your country like this. So they are now trying to push that sentiment, hoping that once the America gets into Nigeria, they will meet so much resentment in Nigeria who will believe that the intention is to change Tinubu, that even if you didn't like him, you will believe that, no, this is not the right way. You will likely end up on the side and join other Nigerians that are going to probably mount the streets and begin to demand that America should go. It is so complex that even the opposition in Nigeria, who pretended to be honest with you until this moment, are now walking on eggshells. They are being careful. They are being careful of what to say because they could become collateral damage in all of it. Here you get. It's like, you know what? There is a chance that this whole thing, if it is like implemented, is not just going to crash and destroy APC. It's probably going to destroy the entire system that they have all been milking for so long. That Nigeria you know of today, you may never see that anymore. So that fear is holding everybody. And without anyone taking the lead or trying to kind of face America as your government should do, just waiting in anticipation and like, what's going to happen? Okay, let's just hope that he will change his mind. Why they continue. So they are working on you as we speak, hoping that this sort of thing, when it catches up with them, you're going to be on their side. You're going to be a patriotic Nigerian who is going to feel offended, very upset that America is doing this. What the heck? What the hell? I hope it won't get to that. And I actually hope it gets to that. All right? So in the long shot, here is another eyewitness. Part of those who contributed to what is about to happen. Watch this.
You cannot ignore the fact that there is Nigerian government complicity with these attacks. You saw some of our journalists in the documentary. We wanted to be an organization that tells the truth about what's happening in Nigeria, hence truthnigeria.com. I want to just kind of let everybody know and help you understand how Nigerian news works. If a Nigerian government official does not call for a news conference, the event did not exist. So in order for the narrative to get to the mainstream media, get picked up by Al Jazeera, get picked up by CNN, everything else, it comes from a Nigerian government source. From the very beginning, they determine the narrative. The reporters regurgitate the government narrative. We decided to be a voice and try to help change that paradigm and created Truth Nigeria to document what is actually happening. How many of you guys know that there were 10 Christians killed in Kaduna just the other day? How many of you know that there were 30 Christians killed in Plateau just a week ago? How many of you know that besides the 280 Christians that were killed in Yellowwater on June 13th, we are now about over 500 Christians that have been killed total since Yellowwater? No one knows. The media is not reporting it. Well, that's why we formed Truth Nigeria, to talk about what is going on. But also, what we pointed out in the documentary that I'd like everybody to realize is that Truth Nigeria had information that the attack on Yellowwater was going to occur 3 weeks before the attack happened. Now, when we get a terror alert, we find information, we know attacks are going to occur, our method is we issue a terror alert on our website, truthnigeria.com, but we also immediately call the local authorities. We notify the Nigerian military, the DSS, the Nigerian government, to let them know this is what we found out, this is our intelligence. Now, a day before the attack, we got word that there's movement happening. They are mobilizing, and they are coming for Yellowwater. So the day before, our team notified the government, the local authorities, the army, the police, and said, hey, there's movement, they're coming, watch out. What happened? Absolutely nothing. The government stood by and did nothing. With advance warning, multiple times. In fact, there was a military fob with soldiers that was less than a kilometer away while the attacks were going on, shooting warning shots in the air, but did not engage the terrorists as people were being burned to death, hacked to death with machetes, and being slaughtered.
These are true stories. The stories that sometimes you will see Nigerians reacting like,